The results are in for a referendum survey in Appleton as the school district aims to pay off a $13 million budget deficit. Drew Best joining us live in the Fox Valley newsroom with this first alert update. Drew.
Cami, the survey shows a lot of support for a possible referendum. We found the data on the Appleton Area School District's website earlier today. The district has several referendum options ranging from $11 to $17 million. Of the near 7,500 respondents, around 60% said they would be in favor of a $15 million referendum, which would increase funding by over $1,000 per student over the next 4 years. This would allow the district to maintain all their programs and prepare for any future budget deficits. For property owners in the district, if your house has a value of $200,000, you would pay about $75 more per year in taxes during that 4-year time frame. The school board could decide to approve a lower amount for the referendum question, which would be cheaper to taxpayers but would only address this budget deficit. They are scheduled to vote on the final referendum at its January 12th meeting. Tonight at 10, we will talk to the community to get their thoughts on the proposals and the survey results. Reporting live in the Fox Valley newsroom, Drew Best, Action 2 News.